a little bit more holiday spirit for us when we talk about our featured company, which is North Pole Technology Services.
This is an old company, but new to us.
Yep.
Been around for a long time. They don't offer remote work.
No, that's right. No, it's just on site.
Okay. They are out of Alaska.
There are about 500 magical beings in the workforce. Yep. There are some unique requirements here, though. So, for example, you need to know JavaScript jingles and Java gingerbread, which is a variant of Java, obviously. Yep. MySQL, which is Magical Yeti SQL, MongoDB, Mistletoe DB, and then Polar Post DB, which is, I think, a specialist platform that they've developed there. They've moved into DevOps recently, Docker for Dasher, Kubernetes for Kringle, Jenkins of Jovel. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here. And then mobile React Native, the Reindeer is the platform they use. Jolliest places to work. I mean, best toys or lots of
and fastest toy delivery for 2 years running.
Yeah, which is
jolliest places to work for 3 years running.
Yeah,
wow,
pretty good. So pretty good.
That's pretty good.
If you have a profile, you can ping the recruiters directly.
Yeah, so there's two recruiters. If we go to the bottom there, that you can
Hamster
Claus
and
Cuddly the Elf.
Recruiting for their team there. So an all round pretty good place to work, I'd say.
Not bad. So work on projects that bring joy to the world and spread holiday cheer. Immerse yourself. So Winter Wonderland Office. Immerse yourself in the magical ambience of the North Pole, surrounded by twinkling lights and snowy landscapes.
I mean, that's okay, but just look at our set. We're basically kind of in the North Pole here, aren't we?
Right.
So I kind of get that. So
okay.
Should we pull up some jobs and have a look at some jobs? First job up, Elf, Senior Vice President of Data Engineering.
Yeah.
So
at the North Pole, you've got a lot of data to manage, a lot of different something like 7 to 8 billion people that are users of your services.
A lot of data,
Yeah, so you're gonna have a lot of information coming through that you're going to need to manage. So they have a robust data engineering department, is my understanding.
You supporting some things, the North Pole operations, toy production, delivery logistics, and then, of course, most importantly,
like I said, you've got
nice list management.
7 to 8. I don't know what we're up to. No, I think we hit 8 the other day, didn't we? So we're at 8 billion people in the world. So you've got 8 billion to naughty or nice list management. That's a pretty big list.
Do you think in all the movies, there's usually a big book and you find your name in the book? Do you think they're still using a book like that, or have they moved to like an iPad?
I'm not sure, but I can tell you that they no longer, after some time in the probably mid 1400s or whatever, and they no longer can use a 32-bit integer to hold the list. They had to move to a big integer, the 64-bit.
No, fair enough. And if you want to look at the job description,
didn't want to get an overflow.
Scan the QR code.
Yep.
So data engineering, as we've talked about for lots of organizations, super important. I'm imagining as a senior vice president, though, you probably got you're managing the majority of the data that's coming in and out of the North Pole.
Right.
So
right.
It does say working in an enchanting and dynamic environment, the heart of Christmas magic, and then competitive compensation, including magical perks and holiday bonuses.
Yeah. Okay.
Although I will tell you, just like any industry, understanding seasonality is important when you go into these kinds of roles, because there's probably a pretty good chance you're going to be working over the holidays.
Yeah, that's true. I think that is one thing probably call out with all these, is that you're likely the holidays are going to be your busiest season.
I think it probably is. Yeah.
Now that we have Christmas in July or whatever, I think there's a little bit of an uptick there where you might have some additional things, but generally the rest of the year, I think things are pretty slow. So you're preparing for the November to December time frame.
Yes, I think you are. So, all right. Sure. The next one. Elf end user support. Similar, and
all these are on site at the headquarters.
These are all on site at the headquarters.
Okay.
Yeah, these aren't. There's full time. There's no remote. I don't think on any of these. All right, let's have a little look. Sort of usual things: help desk, interpersonal problem solving skills, technical issues, all the stuff you'd expect. Let's have a look here, see if there's anything unique in terms of.
Do you think you have to spend a lot of time getting cookies and candies out of keyboards and mice and monitors and wedged in places with this?
Oh, can you imagine? Candy canes must be a nightmare, because when they break, they're solid and they get jammed between the keys.
Yeah, and they're sticky too. So it's almost like everything has to be washed, right? Yeah.
You probably imagine though up there that there's probably keyboard covers on everything. You know, those old school plastic ones.
I haven't seen those for a while, huh?
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it, all the hot chocolate chocolate, and I mean,
hot chocolate. That's definitely
think about the sugar issues up there.
the sugar issues. Yeah.
Then you're going to have people all hyper for a while.
Yeah.
That's not. It
Yeah,
does.
they have a pretty good dental plan though, from what I understand, to counteract some of the negative effects.
The other thing here, which is interesting, and I know that we talked about global roles, and you've got to understand culture and all the rest of it. It says that strong communication, interpersonal skills to interact effectively with a diverse group of elves and magical beings. You're going to have to know what temperaments are, aren't you? I mean, you get some trolls in there or something, and there's going to be a different sort of thing where you're trying to tell them it's your fault. And not the computers. So, and
some of these have some bespoke software requirements. For example, it says including North Pole applications such as Sleigh Nav and Toy Tracker.
Yeah, I mean Sleigh Nav's pretty important, I'm sure. Yeah. You need to manage a small to medium sized network. Do you think that North Pole Technology Services are a Starlink customer?
Yeah, maybe they are. Yeah, it's probably a better way to get internet up there than running a cable.
Do you think they cut some deal to stick it on the sleigh? Because I mean,
why not?
It supports pretty.
I think
global.
You just have to pay for another access.
They're probably retiring their own satellite as a result of that. I'm pretty sure. So,
you do have reindeer care as part of your technical support.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. The reindeer are going to need stuff, and then you're going to have to be efficient and joyful, fulfilling their roles in the lead up to Christmas, which I guess is probably where everyone gets stressed. And no one likes to be stressed. It's a bit like tax season. If you're an accountant and your computer breaks, there's no one has any patience for waiting while you explain it was the candy canes that did it. Yep. They don't care. All right, next one. Elf cybersecurity. I'm sure a growing problem in the North Pole these days. Let's have a look. Elf cybersecurity engineer joined a team of North Pole Security Digital Operations Center. Critical role, protecting our operation from cyber threats, and the work is integral to maintaining the magic and secrecy of Santa's mission, which makes a lot of sense. How well do you think they? Do you think that there's obfuscation on the naughty and nice list, or do you? How do you think? Do you think anyone in the North Pole can see that, or is there certain conditions?
Yeah,
zero trust.
There's probably it's pretty high level security around that. I'd imagine for the naughty and nice list, you don't want to just release the entire list. I mean, you can look yourself up as we saw earlier, but you probably just don't want to release the entire list out there.
You probably don't. What do you think that's worth? If you manage to get.
I don't know. Yeah, could be quite a bit, depending on what you're going to use it for.
Do you think it would fit on a Santa themed thumb drive?
Yeah, it could. I'm sure you could fit it on there.
You want to be careful about that. Anything else in here?
Nope. I think we're good on this one.
Nope. All right. We know that cybersecurity is important, so keep the mission up there. Elf engineer for advanced sleigh cloaking technology. One of those big issues I'm sure that they have. Because I can't say I've ever seen Santa's sleigh flying around. Have you?
Which is probably why you haven't.
It's a bit of a mystery because we all think that he has jingle bells, but you don't hear the jingle bells, do you? Either? Or the sound of the hooves on the roof. Do you think they have to manage that as well?
Yeah. Well, let's read and find out.
Okay.
Ensure all technology adheres to magical standards of the North Pole. Degree in engineering, physics, or related field, and equivalent magical experience.
Stay updated on the latest advancements in cloaking and stealth technology.
Yep.
And you know that we've used cloaking and stealth technology on the stream before.
Yes, we have.
Maybe they use something similar. Maybe that's where that piece of
generous
plastic came
peppermint
from.
perks and hot cocoa health plan.
Nice. Do you think you get free cocoa?
I think that's
It's
part of the
interesting
deal.
that peppermint perks and cocoa health plan weren't offered on the cybersecurity role.
Well,
maybe they try not to keep them.
Yeah.
They try to keep them too sugary. Do you think that they're using LEDs? Well, how do you think cloaking technology works? Is it OLEDs, LEDs? Do you think it's something else?
I wouldn't know. Yeah, it's beyond my knowledge.
Yeah, it's also need simulation software and CAD tools, knack of problem solving, all the usual things you'd expect to go in there. So,
okay.
You probably have to sign an NDA though if you left.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that you couldn't take that technology elsewhere.
To somewhere else. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, last one. Elf software engineer, probably a lot of demand for software engineering.
Package tracking system. Yeah.
Package
so
tracking.
You probably get relevant experience at Amazon or UPS or FedEx or something like that would be a related job.
Yeah, and you can see now the skills are starting to edge into C++ and C because they'll probably want some fast compute services. Let's have a look. Design, develop, and implement a robust package tracking software. They've got to use we know they use their own custom tracking software. This one does need a degree. Do you think? I mean, we've talked about this before. If you've got enough experience,
I think it says skills and qualifications. I think, or equivalent magical experience, right? So really, what we've said is a degree. I don't know if you can say 4 years, a couple years of experience is equivalent to a degree or something like that, probably, depending on what you're doing. Now, if you're, like we said, if you're applying to be a brain surgeon, I don't know, if you it's probably a good thing that you have a degree before you start opening people up and have very specific training. So there's some fields where you really need that training and that hands-on experience is an equivalent, but I would say in a lot of developer roles, in my experience, that hands-on experience doing it can be equivalent to a college degree. So all that to say, don't be shy about a lot of these jobs. Go ahead and apply.
Now, this is I think the crux of the issue. Big question I've got to ask is, when you go for the job interview, do you think that they pull up your naughty and nice list history?
Oh yeah, to see if you've been on there.
About whether or not you're going to get hired.
I would say that that's implied. Yeah.
Do you think you need a completely clean naughty and nice list, or can you have the odd year where you I kind of fell on the naughty list a little bit?
It's unreasonable to expect that you've always been on the nice list forever. I think you're going to really limit the amount of people that you can hire.
If you're hiring someone, where would you draw the line in terms of percentage of naughty and nice? Like, is it 50-50 is good enough? Are you looking for 25,
you probably
75?
Want 60% nice.
60% nice?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 60-40.
Right.
50-50 seems like, well, either way. Right.
I mean, I think
want you want a majority, right? A super majority or whatever.
Here's the thing: you're always told in business that mistakes are the way you learn the most, right? So, it being on the naughty list, doesn't that mean that you've learned from your mistakes? And
what type of mistakes, though? Like what? Why? Yeah.
And maybe they take into account the chronology. So it's like naughty, and then nice.
Yeah, maybe
versus
so.
naughty, nice,
maybe it's
nice.
not. I don't know if these are hard rules, right?
All right. If you work at North Pole Technology Services, and you do know the answer to that, let us know. We'd like to know whether or not that's important. If you want to know, like I said, where you are on the list today, because you might be interested in one of these jobs, hop onto the Discord server and ask the Magic Hamster. That'll let you know too as well. Then at least you know what you're getting into, because if you go in there and you know you're on the naughty list, at least you can explain why you stole the cookies made snowmen out of mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.